Hello friends, I am MovieRecap NL and this is the film about a man who was shot. The story is about a young man who was shot after his ex-girlfriend's daughter was accused. But in the island ruled by women, it was resolved through friendship. Meet Edward, who serves in the local patrol. Our language is strange. One day, while riding a motorcycle, our father's name is mentioned to the deaf drivers who don't listen. One day, Edward sees a child fall from a car that was moving ahead and he picks him up and chases the car from behind. The car leaves. The child becomes even more restless. Edward, who calms the woman, takes the child with him and they arrive at a large house with a big car where he treats them kindly. Edward tries to get the people in the car out, breaking the car's rearview mirror and asking for the child briefly, but the girl for some reason remains silent. This frightening incident causes a serious effect and leads to Edward leaving the service or considering other options. A witness who saw this supports him, and it is reported that the child's parents have not been found. The car's case was not registered and no one knows who was in it. Edward takes a harsh stance towards the woman who seems to be angry. The missing girl Sarah asks for help. Edward cannot arrange matters with the ex-girlfriend's family and Summersale returns to the village, soon facing many problems, in the village only. But Edward convinces the elder to give money and persuades him with a sword and soon they return. The woman who fell into the trap waits in several scenes in the village. Edward asks questions, but the relationship between the deceased and the man surprises him. Fortunately, he does not take it seriously and moves on. Meanwhile, Edward sees two small children crawling and asks if they belong to them. The women say that the two are their children and offer Edward to see them closely. But when Edward looks openly at the children, they crawl harshly in the yard and a frightened man laughs and walks away. Nevertheless, they show Edward all their hospitality and many kind women come inside. Edward asks only for the debt from the owner and then Sar Agam enters. The owner asks Edward to watch over his son. The man inside asks for the debt, which is paid with a sack of rice. After that, Edward announces that he officially came to visit the village and conduct a thorough investigation. The man going to the village suddenly meets Sarah. The woman secretly gives him a letter. It is written about their observation and the details of their meeting. As they talk, Edward asks questions, but the girl who answers the door runs away. When Edward returns to the hotel, he notices that one of his videos has disappeared. The owner orders the people to prepare for an important holiday until the death of the man who was shot. There are visions. Edward sees a woman running away from a small house wearing red clothes and she is followed. The owner of the house watches carefully but cannot find any trace of the thief. Unexpectedly, the women in the village are locked in the attic, and Edward, making a plan, barely escapes from the locked building. The next morning, Edward sees pictures of girls in old clothes painted on the walls. The owner says that this is a part of the traditional holiday, but the pictures cause disputes and he talks about it on the wall. Edward begins the investigation. The village women do not cooperate. They are mysterious infidels who never accept infidels, but the servant girl suddenly asks to take her away. The detective who came to the village sees that many women are afraid here. After that, Royne comes to school to show the requested items. All the girls and knowledgeable women never appear. The girls deliberately lock him up to find out how much he knows. The detective's assistant refuses to allow anything here, takes the attendance book and finds Royne's last name. So the prisoners are detained and the children are held captive. The shooter asks for permission to leave and his mother confirms his death, but there is little information about the circumstances. When Edward asks how he died, the shooter gives a strange answer about a trick. Soon, they confirm that his trick had caught fire. MYA goes to the detective's graveyard and sees a strange figure on the grave. It is said that the girl was buried there and this old shrine has become a legend. The woman tells about Royne's trick, his death, the strange fears, and the girl's enemies. My brother left the village. The detective asks who this strange and mysterious woman is, and it turns out that Royne is her father. No man can accept this. The woman takes him home and Edward loses sight of the guest. The woman says she went out for a walk and knows about the things in the guest house, just like Then the sound of a motor is heard and a plane flies towards the mountain to use the radio. But there is no trace of the plane. While Edward is waiting, suddenly an unknown sound is heard and he sees the girl's actions. She was followed by a shadow and fainted, but they see the girl's actions with their own hands and too. The woman repeats the request for the festival, and the man finds an ancient ceremony book on the table. Edward, waiting for the doctor's return, enters his house and reads in the book about the festival's time and the rituals of friendship among the people. The festival is about the girl's tragic fate and the detective, who lost sight of the place, finds many pictures of women and children taken for the festival. After studying the documents, they learn that the worst festival happened in the island. Edward, who went ahead of Sarah, demands explanations about the events that occurred on the island. The woman says all this is. The morning brings bad news about the strange events. Edward demands the truth, but the woman asks for forgiveness and regrets letting him go. Edward, upset, thinks about Samuelsons and soon meets one of the men from the village. The frightened man suddenly changed his mind. Edward, lost in thought, accidentally goes to the battlefield and is seen again. Edward is surprised because the servant girl returned to the village and became his representative. There is no time for hope, the handsome man. Edward's breath becomes short and he sees a woman in a red dress nearby. Marshall comes to his house. The doctor who saved his life says that he is suffering from trickery. The detective sees a black woman giving orders to the girl. Yes, they themselves plan to make sacrifices to the mother goddess. Samuelsson is a witness to this event, but no one talks about the sacrifices made because of the disease. Their ancestors were victims and all the women suffered from the cruelty of the men. At the age of 17, they came to another man, but now. At 19, they came to the village and found their place there. Of course, the men left the village. But all returned, men need to drink a lot. Edward is surprised and asks if the son will become a good man. The woman says that this is related to the situation and gives permission to open Royne's grave. The detective begins to dig the grave, but only a doll is found there. Then the child goes somewhere and the sacred part of the ancestors appears from there and the girl's jumper is found. Edward falls into the well with water and sees a panther laughing. There are scary screams but no one answers. Later, he sees a girl injured in another accident. Sarah finds her and sees the sweater on her and begins to recover. Edward follows her but no one laughs and leaves the house. The woman goes to Samuelson's house and sees a man disguised as a woman, but Samuelson is not there. Edward persuades the villagers to come and they all return to the village, but the women laugh at him seriously. Finally, the assistant's will is taken and he goes. Edward, rushing to the hospital, sees a plane crash. The flight was cancelled. After that, the guards patrol, but the men do not notice. He returns and is told that his appearance is a good sign. He wakes up and is knocked out. The woman is dressed for the ceremony. Then the servant girl suffers a seizure but is treated with medicine. The delicious and sweet festival begins. Edward, dressed in the ceremonial dress, bids farewell to the villagers and the people gather. The man who sees the medic approaches and hugs her. The man from the village welcomes him and the elders greet him. The woman witnesses the girl's performance and the old man praises her. The girl's young age was a great blessing. Edward was sacrificed. Because his blood was connected to them by two but not by one, his fate is Samers. When the festival begins, it is clear that someone is protecting it. The woman protects against the likely attack and for a long time awaited help. The women use their masks and protect their community, and it seems that the country is full of mothers. His only weapon is the sword and he must return from the four directions. The detective After that, his feet are raised to the sky and he is brought inside a wooden man. Royne is given a gift, and the girl who took it is raised from sin and her grandfather asks forgiveness for her sins. The gift is given, but the wooden man starts to make mistakes. The women scream at the man who made the trick and the house is silent. The servant girl asks to be taken away with him. Poor things, their love is ready to burn. The end.